Of course, we can close File Manager at the same time. And I think, yeah, we will use these images first. Okay. So let's go back to Tiling Plus. So here's the Tiling Plus application. At first look, it may look a little bit scaring because we have a lot of options everywhere, but we will see during today's training that Tiling Plus is really easy to use. So the first step here would be to set up the poster size, as you can see here. This is the really first step you're looking for when it comes to Tiling Plus. So the poster size is actually the size of the finished product, including finishing margins, hem, whatsoever. This is the real size of what you're going to print. So in this first example, I would like to create a billboard, and I know that my billboard is actually 4 meters width and 3 meters height. So that will be the size of my poster. And 3 meters height, like this. So here the size of your final product, including everything. What you can do also is to create a preset, like saving such kind of format in your library. So here we have a format. As you can see, I already created such kind of format, but if you have to do a new one, you can click here, and then you can maybe rename it, or click here to create your new format. For instance, and you can also plan for some margins. So we will see how it looks like. Okay, so if I use this new format, okay, you will get something like this. And the green area means that you cannot print anything here. This will be blank area that maybe you can reserve for gromets, for specific mark or whatsoever. But in my first example, I will take back my billboard format, which is 4,000 millimeters per 3,000 millimeters, like this. And I don't want to place any margins so far. I will lay it like this. Okay, so first step is done. You have your poster size. Now you can drag and drop directly the file you would like to tile. So in this first example, I'm going to take this PDF file I just opened before, and I can drag and drop it here. But first, I would suggest you to check out your image tools. So you have a couple of settings that you can activate in order to set up properly how and where the image will be oriented. So in my situation, I'm not sure this image fits perfectly my poster size. As you can see here, if I drag and drop it in info, we can see that the dimension of the file is not the one I'm looking for. As you can see, it's way smaller. So what I would like to do is to extend the size of the image to the size of my poster. Okay. So to do so, I can click the first option here. Here, I would recommend you to keep the ratio of the image, okay, in order to not stretch or get the image in not the proper, I would say, ratio. Okay. So in my situation, I don't really care. Okay, I just want my image to fit my wall poster, so I will deactivate it. And here is to say the software to center the image on your poster. But here I can deactivate it because anyway I will extend the size of my poster to the wall poster, so it will be of course centered by default. So now I can take the image and drag and drop it on my poster. As you can see now, we have still the poster with the proper size, and my image now is fitting my poster. We have here a scale factor, and for daily jobs like I'm doing now, I recommend you to not activate it. Why? Because if you activate it, the poster size will be adapted to the incoming image. For instance, here, if I click the locker, as you can see, and I drag and drop another file, it will keep the scale of the incoming image, as you can see, and this will change actually the size of my poster. And this I don't want to do. I want to have my poster size which is fixed. Okay, so I will push back the side, and then whatever the image I will drag and drop in it, I know that the image will adapt to the size of the poster and not the opposite. Okay, so here's the image I would like to tile. So I have poster size, the image is well placed. Now I can take a look here to the print constraints. Okay, in this first example, I would like to use print constraints. I don't want to place manually each tile. I would like to use a specific printer with a specific roll size. And depending on this roll size, Tiling Plus will dynamically place the number of tiles you will need to print. So first step, just activate the print constraints. Here it is blinking in red just because the print constraints are not applied properly. That's it. Here we can see we have a width which fits my roll 64 inches. Okay, so I could change for whatever roll I would like to. Okay, of course it will depend on what you have on your current printer. Obviously, these are the current page format I have. So let's go back to 64 inches roll. Here's the width in millimeters, and here as you can see the height is deactivated, and that's good because I know that I will print everything in the roll format, so I know that the height is potentially infinite. Okay, so that's why the infinite icon is selected here. So by default that's fine for roll-to-roll application. Then I can recompute the tiles in order to Tiling Plus to show me how many tiles I would like to print for this current job. Okay, here as you can see print constraints are now okay, it's not blinking any longer, and I can see here we have 3 ports, 1, 2, 3. If you would like to get a better view of the tiles, you can play here with the opacity. So here if I push the opacity here, I will get a better view of my tiles, as you can see. Okay, now we have interesting information. First one, we have tile size here that has been synchronized with what I get here in my preview. So we can see that because we did divide this value by 3 columns, we get such kind of value here, and the height is still the height of my document. Okay. Now, what I would like to do is to plan for overlapping. Okay, I would like to have a slightly an overlap from left to right for each tile in order to avoid any issue later on. So to push an overlap, it's very easy. Just select the tiles you would like to see an overlap. So basically here I will select the 3 tiles like this, and then we can jump to the other side of the interface in the tile overlap section. And then I know that I would like to get 10 millimeters overlap, for instance, from left to right on each tile. So I will basically deactivate my top edge and my bottom edge and my left edge as well. I just want to keep my right edge, okay, because the overlap will be on the right direction. And here you can put an overlap value, which is in my case 10 millimeters. Press enter to validate, and then you can see in the preview we have some red area that is showing you that the first tile will be overlapping the next one by 10 millimeters. and the same for the second one. Here obviously there is no overlap since we do not have any pixels or any part of the image any longer. So this is absolutely irregular. Okay, so now interesting fact, if we come back here to this tile side, we still see the size of individual tiles, which is still the same, as you can see. But now, if we go to this panel, we can see two different information. We have the internal width, which is the same as this value. Okay? And now we have also here an overall width, as you can see here, which is the width of the tiles plus the 10 millimeters overlap. And they will give you such kind of value. And for the last one, since we didn't apply any overlap here because it's simply not possible, you will see that the overall size is still the same. Okay? For some, in some case, you may want to apply alternative overlap, as you can see here. What is it for? This means you will actually plan for a little bit of overlap on this tile and a little bit of overlap on this one. So you will get basically 5 millimeters more on this tile and 5 millimeters more, on this tile. Okay, this is what we call alternative overlap. For some situation, it can be useful, but usually I always use the regular pattern here. And if you would like to update everything, you will need to reconfigure the tiles again. Okay? And that's it. Another thing which is interesting here is that the internal width is the same for every single tile here. But maybe you would like to have two bigger tiles at the beginning and just to print the remaining size at the end. So if you plan to do so, you can deactivate here this button, which is the same size for all tiles. And then you can recompute the tiles. And as you can see, it will print the two first tiles as big as possible, and the last one will be a bit smaller. But here you can see that print constraints are blinking. Why? Because this tile is actually the maximum size we have here, because now we have 10 millimeters overlap, as you can see. Here's the value here, and here's the value. So this will be printable, but from security, I will suggest you to put a smaller value here, or maybe a higher value if you don't want to see it blinking any longer, like this. And here we'll be sure that the overall width is a little bit smaller than the real size of the row. But usually, I think people prefer to get 3 tiles with the same value. So I will get back here, and then I can recompute the tiles, and we have 1, 2, 3. That's it. Then we have a couple of marks that you can apply to this current document. We have tile crop marks, but we will see that this can be added easily later from the printer itself. You can also plan for a cutting frame, which is quite nice, because then it means you'll be able to cut it with your flatbed cutter, for instance, because it will create a specific cut contour around each tile. And in my situation, of course, if I create a cut contour frame, this will honor the size of my overlap, of course, because I need it. So let's activate the cutting frame, and that's it. For now, I will deactivate the current option, and we get back to it in the next video. As you can see, since I'm using Tiling Plus and quite a big image, I need to zoom in, zoom out, and to navigate through the current document. So I will give you some shortcuts in order to ease this image manipulation into tiling. So first one is zoom in and zoom out. So to zoom in, simply press Ctrl+, plus the left button of the mouse. Then you will zoom wherever is your cursor.
Cutting frame to je to rozděleně to.
You have to press Ctrl key and the right key of your mouse. Then if you are a little bit lost like this, okay, and you want to retrieve the default view, you can press Option key or Alt key from the keyboard plus R.
Život bude lepší.
And then it will give you back the default view. And if you need to very precise things regarding the tile, if you maybe need to move this tile a little bit, as you can see, just grab the tile like this. Okay, you click on the tile. Then you can plug them into navigate the movement like this. To do so, just press Ctrl and click the roll button of your mouse while moving the mouse at the same time. Then you'll be able to move through the document like this. I'm just going to recomplete the tile since I messed a little bit up, as you can see. Okay, so we're good to export our first layouts. So to do so, we will click here on Create Poster. So here we would like to create all the tiles. Okay, so and I would like to create a new poster basically on my original tile. So by default, Tiling Plus will always create the project where the original image is. Okay? So here we can create a new poster. Here we have a bunch of different options. As you can see, we have 12 different combinations that you can use in order to export in different order the tiles. Okay? So in this situation, it's a very simple document. I only have 3 columns and 1 row. So line by line, top to bottom, we'll just export 1, 2, 3. But when it comes to more complex layout, it could be interesting to use another order. And this order will be kept if you need to nest them later on. Spooler using this thematic, for instance, is quite a nice feature if you need to keep order of what
Nepočujem, čo robí.
So here we create a poster. As you can see, my new poster has been created here.
Podľa toho on ti vlastne spraví, či chceš, že od spodu takto, alebo takto chceš, alebo takto.
Horizontálne alebo vertikálne.
Icon here, that means this file comes from Tiling Plus, okay? And we have also a small plus icon, and if you click on it, it will show up the 3 tiles I did create on my current document. And here, because I did activate a cut frame around each tile, I have also a cutter icon. That means I have a cut control basically surrounding each single tile. Now, if I would like to process and to produce these tiles, it's really easy. Just take the image just like a regular job, and then you can drag and drop it to your printer. Okay, so I will refresh my configuration in order to get something from scratch. And if I click print tiles right away, this will actually print the 3 tiles in 3 different jobs. Okay, let's do it, and let's go to the spooler to see what happens. So here it's a little bit different because I'm not connected to any printer, so I may have some error message. So I will not print them basically. I will simply read them. Okay. Let me do it again. I will just read them. Okay, so if I click print tiles, it will create me, as you can see, 3 different jobs. 1, 2, and 3. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Maybe you are not looking to print everything at once. So in this situation, you can click here the layout button, and here we find another option, which is print tile. So that means here you can navigate through the different tiles you did export from Tiling Plus, and you can say, okay, I only want to print this current tile. Also, from here, feel free to add the crop marks or whatever marks you would like to print to each tile. Okay, like this. And you can also add some bleed if needed. So this is quite a nice feature. Not in this case, I don't need it really because I have already an overlap. But from some situation, if you plan to export some wallpaper tiles from Tiling Plus, just be aware that it is possible to add surrounding additional pixels in order to ease the cutting process and to avoid such kind of white line after cutting. So here just activate bleed, and you can go for canvas methods, and you can go for maybe 10 millimeters bleed, and here will show up in pink. So that means I will have 10 millimeters bleed surrounding my current tag. Feel free to center everything. Anyway, this is just like a regular job coming from the image shop. You can do whatever you want. You can do an estimatic if you would like to print the three tiles at one single job. It is also possible. Okay. Let me just checking value here. Yeah. Yeah. So for instance, if you would like to print the three tiles in one single job in Nest-O-Matic, I will show you. I'm going to select the Nest mode here. I would like to print one copy of each single tiles, and I will click print tiles. So in this situation, as you can see, it will create me one AutoNest document with the 3 files in one single job. So now, because I'm using Nest-O-Matic, it is still waiting for additional jobs, but if you don't want to push more jobs, just press the print button in order to release it and to print or repeat if needed. Okay, so that was the first example using billboard decor. Or just one thing again, if I come back here to the print module, I told you before that I did export the file with a cut control frame. So here is the cut control frame you can see here from the cutting tab. So this has been created directly from Tiling Plus, and it will allow you to create a cut file, whatever the roll-to-roll cutter or the flatbed cutter you are working with. So that's absolutely possible to cut very easily tiles coming from Tiling Plus. Okay, so let's jump now to the second example, which is the vehicle wrapping. So in this example, I would like to create a decoration for a bus. So to do so, I'm going back to Tiling Plus. So it will reopen with my previous settings. As you can see, I'm still using my billboard training template. Now I would like to create a new one. So here the bus I would like to cover is 11 meters long by 2.5 meters height. So that would be the size of my poster, basically. So here we can go back to poster size and push the value. So 11 meters long by 2.5 meters. Here we go. Once again, if needed, you can save this in the bus template. I already created before, as you can see here. And image tools remain the same in my situation. I really want to extend the size of the incoming image to the size of the bus. But in this example, I would like to use also a background template. So I'm going to open this from FileMan. And here I am selecting my bus decor and a bus template in PDF, as you can see here. Then I'm going to click to open. And that's it.
Takže východ školení. Já jsem upadl.
Okay. So here, this file would be my decor. Okay, this is what I would like to print on my bus, and this is the template I will use to place each single tile in order to get something quite realistic and really accurate. So the first thing would be to drag and drop your decor, okay? So the design and the graphic you would like to print, okay? So then you can drag and drop your templates in the background. So if I do so, it will overlap the previous one, as you can see, okay? It will replace this, and this is not what I'm looking for. I really want to open this at the same time in the background. So to do so, you press the Control key of your keyboard while dragging the file into Tiling Plus Document. And as you can see now, it will be placed in transparency in the background. And then you can play with the view here, like this, and like this. And then you can say, okay, I prefer to see better my bus template or my tiling document. So in this situation, I prefer the bus template for now because this will help me to place each single tile in the good location. So this is the next
Dobre, ale jak to spravím, aby mu tam mobil zastavil?
To use the print constraints once again in order to get kind of security and to be sure to not create something that can't be printed in my current printer. So I will leave it activated. And now I can zoom in a little bit like this, and I can play with my tiles, and I can push it exactly where I would like to. So of course here it's an example for you guys. I do it quite quick, but make sure to do it very accurately to get good results.
Tie dopravné prostriedky v Caldere. Lebo teraz to nejaký čurák musí naťahovať do softvéru, ručne to tajluje, potom to exportuje.
So here I already placed all my columns, as you can see, that are fitting the line of my vehicle.
Však to tam dáš uložiť, ne? Podľa názov. Ten, čo chodí neskoro, víš?
And now the next step will be to create some rows.
Však autobus, to bolo. Asi ho lepili.
To separate the window from the rest of the vehicle. So to do so, you can create new tiles just by dragging your cursor from the bottom of the document, and then you will create a new tile, as you can see here. Then I will create a new one here, and the last one here.
Potom ti dáme aj môj zošit, mi pod tebou napíšeš, dobre?
So now if I
Som ti vpravil.
like this, okay, I can really see my composition. But we can see that there is some tiles that can be printed together actually. I don't want to print 4 different pieces for the back of the vehicle. It's the same for this window. I don't need 2 different pieces for this window. 1 single is enough. So what I'm going to do now is to merge some tiles together. So to do so, it's very easy. Just do a selection frame and select the tiles that you would like to merge together. You can do a right click and select merge tiles like this. You can also go directly in the right panel and you will find a kind of Pathfinder. I don't know if you are familiar with Pathfinder and Illustrator, but it looks a little bit like the Pathfinder, and you can choose which action you are going to perform. So here is the merged action, as you can see. And this is exactly the same than right-clicking and merging tiles. So now I will do for all tiles I need. Okay, here's a single window. I will do it here also. Okay.
Tento diel by som chcela poslať.
And that's it. And maybe this one, this one as well. So Alt R to refresh the view, and we can see we have something which is quite similar to the templates that I have in the background. So that's quite nice. So now we can also plan for extra margin and for overlapping in order to be sure to have enough material while pasting all the tiles on top of the vehicle. So here I will take it very easy. I will just select everything basically, and I will select my bottom edge for each tile and the right edge for each tile. And then I will say, okay, just add 10 millimeters more everywhere. This way I'll be sure to have enough stickers and enough material in order to not get strange joints and stuff like this. Okay, so now once it is done, we can export the current document. But here it's a little bit more complicated because, as you can see, we have some metallic parts, which is the vehicle, and we have some Windows parts, as you can see. So in this situation, it would be better to export 2 different documents from Tiling Plus. So to do so, we can actually select everything, and then can deselect what we don't want to export. So here, I just want to export the metallic parts, okay? I just don't want to print the window right now. So now we can create a poster, and we can create only selected tiles, as you can see here. Then we can create the poster here. It will create a brand new poster in the image bar, just like before, with every single piece. And now to better identify what is what, we could take this document and drag and drop it in info, for instance. And now I could rename this document. So here would be, how to say in English, let's name it metal parts, like this. Okay, and quit. And now for the rest of the document, I know that it will be printed on another vinyl, like a microperf vinyl, you know, a specific vinyl for Windows, basically. So what I can do actually is, because still the metallic parts are selected, I could deactivate them just by clicking here my cross button. Okay. And then I can create a new poster, and I can select create all the tiles this time, but it will only export the tiles which are not crossed, as you can see here. So I can create a new poster, and the same as before, I will drag and drop it in info, and I will name it Windows. And that's it. And also something I forgot to mention is the possibility to add some label. So for such kind of projects, it's very useful because as you can see, we have a lot of different tiles. Okay, if I select everything here, we can see here in tile selection, we have 24 out of 24 tiles. And then you can select specific tiles here if needed. So because we have a lot of tiles for this side, you can imagine we will have the same amount of tiles for the other side of the bus. So it would be smarter to mark each single tile, I mean to label them. So to label the tiles, you can click here the small label button in the miscellaneous section. Okay, and then you can set up how you would like to print the label. So here font size is 3mm is really small. Maybe I would like to get something bigger, like 10mm, and 50% opacity. Press enter to validate. The font color is okay, and we can close this. This is the label format. Okay, this means you will have the line indicator and the column indicator. And then if I click close and I zoom in each single tiles, in the bottom left corner of each single tile, I will have a label that will be printed in order to help the guy to install properly each single tiles on the bus. Okay. And what is quite smart, as you can see, is by default it will print everything in the overlap. So if I have overlap section, like a bigger one, okay, like let's say 3 centimeters overlap for this tile, that means after pasting this tile, it will be just invisible, okay, because it will be overlapped by the next tile. So it's quite smart. Okay. And one thing with just such kind of complex projects is that you can create an assembly guide here in PDF. Just hit the assembly guide button, then Caldera will ask you which format you would like to print. I'm okay with that, and then I will choose where I would like to generate my assembly guide. It takes a few seconds.
To by bolo fajn, lebo jajka to by to trošku lepšie.
Chceli sme to spraviť 2023 s Maťom a 2023? Však ja som toto ukazoval v januári, tento time, som musel ešte video, že sme to mohli...
Okay, that's good. Let's have a look. Here's the assembly guide in PDF. So you will be able to open this PDF file. Just going to enlarge it for you guys. You will be able to open this PDF file and to give it to your worker in order for them to have a very accurate plan and to know where to paste each single tile in the current project. Okay, and for each one you will get overlap explanation and other finishing stuff, as you can see here. So this is quite nice when it comes to such kind of complex project that requires a lot of different tiles, as you can see here. Another thing that I didn't do previously on the billboard project is to save as a template. It's really important because maybe I would like to print another design, another graphic based on the same vehicle in a few weeks. So in order to avoid these really time-consuming steps, I prefer to save everything in a preset. So let's create here a preset by clicking Save button. Then I will look for a specific repertory, and here is my new repertory template styling, and here I will save it as bus template. And here we go. So let me know if I quit Tiling Plus and I reopen it. Of course, I will lose everything. Okay, I will get back to a A4 format, for instance. And here, by clicking the load button, I'll be able to retrieve my tiling templates. Clicking the load button, I will get back everything as I leave it, including the overlaps, the number of tiles, the labeling, as you can see, and so on. So here, if I would like to process the bus again based on another graphic, I could simply open a new file, like this one. Then I can drag and drop it, and then I can click Grid Poster. And here we go. We have a new bus to cover. Okay, so that was for the vehicle wrapping example. Still, we have another example to go through, is the banner one, which is really faster, I would say. So to do so, we'll just reopen Tiling Plus from scratch, and that's it. And by the way, if you still you have the Tiling document in your image bar, you can use it as long as you want, actually. Just take it, drag and drop it back in Tiling Plus, and then it will be reopened. It will be reopened with all the good settings you're looking for. Okay, so let's move back to the last example, which is the banner application. I'm going to reopen Tiling Plus, and I'm going to create this time a new format, and I will name it banners. And the width in this situation, let's say 5 meters long by 1 meter high. That's it. No margin for now. Yeah, no margin. That's it. Okay, and here's the tiles. So in this situation, I know that I will use this printer to print this banner, and I know that I have maximum size regarding the roll, which is more than 1.5 meters. So that means my banner can be printed in one single piece, as you can see here, because the height is only 1 meter. So that's perfect. But there is a few things you have to know about. Is now I don't want to see this, okay? So maybe you could go here and just type 1 as a column and deactivate the print constraints, because anyway you know that you will be able to print this type. Or if you really want to use the print constraints, you can switch here the information. So the width will be infinite, as you can see, and the height will be limited to, for instance, the width of my row, like this. And as you can see here, there is one single row. Very simple. So when it comes to banner, we have a couple of tools in Tiling Plus, which is quite useful. The first one is the margin, because here in this situation, I would like maybe to create some hem where I would like to place each grommet. So to do so, I need to plan for the margin in my document, Because if I want to print this file, for instance, okay, I know it's really, it's just helpful, it's just to print something which is realist, or you know what, let's put this one instead. Okay. If I would like to print some empty and blank area in order to push some hand, I would need to place some margin, as you can see here. So let's plan for 50 millimeters margin all around. So if I click this button, I will have 50 millimeters everywhere. But in this situation, as you can see, the size of my graphic just decreased a little bit. Why? Because now I have a 50 millimeter margin inside the document. So if you plan for extra margin, you have to take in consideration when creating the poster size. So in my situation, if I want to keep the graphic to 5 meters by 1 meter height, it will be better to push the additional margin inside the size of my document. So here will be 5 meters and 10 centimeters and 1 meter and 10 centimeters, because we have 5 centimeters all around my document, so that's it. Okay, so now the next step would be to push some grommets. So here in Paint+, we have this option, which is the grommet option that you can activate. And click here this button in order to set up how and where you're going to add these grommets. So you can push either in the margin or inside the documents. It's up to you. So in my situation, I will put it. I will put them. In the documents. Okay. So you can here add multiple. Choose the shape of your grommet mark. So in my situation, circle is perfect. Then you can choose the size where you will print these grommet marks. And the size, of course, 50 millimeters, enter should be enough. And now it's the border offset. So here, because I know that it will be my blank area for doing a hem later on, I know that my grommet will be like from 50 plus the half this value inside the document. So 75 millimeters. So here I can push 75 millimeters. And here you can either choose from a maximum distance between each grommet or a specific number of grommets. So here in this situation, I think maximum distance is better. I know that I don't want to get more than, let's say, 40 centimeters, without any grommets. So that will be my value. And I can see here, I will print 32 grommet mark all around my banner. Okay. If for some reason you just want to get maybe 400 millimeters maximum distance in the length here of my banner, this is of course possible. I will just deactivate left and right side, as you can see. And then I will click automatic grommet generation. I will click create, and here's the grommets. And as you can see here, I have only grommets on top and bottom side. I just ignore this side, because on this side I would like to get maybe another value. So I will add multiple again. I will select my 2 remaining edges, and here maybe I just want more grommets, like every 200 millimeters, and create. And here I have grommets. And that's it. So really easy to do. You can also save this as a template if needed, of course, in order to drag and drop further design where you would like to apply the same grommets. And what we can do also is to print some lines. Okay, so lines is quite useful, especially if you know that you will fold some area of the print. And maybe here it's quite easy because we have color everywhere, so we can really see the boundaries of my graphic regarding the overall poster. But if you are dealing with surrounding white images, like such kind of images, you know, you have white and you can't really see where are the boundaries of the file, then maybe you can plan for lines in order to help you when holding the hammer. So here, this is what I'm going to do. I will activate the line just to show you, and I will add multiple lines. So left will be 50 millimeters, right will be 50 millimeters also, top and bottom. Then you can choose how you're going to print this line. Maybe I would like not to have a dashed line, but a plain line with more than 1 pixel, let's say 2 millimeters. So here's pixel by default. If you deactivate it, it will be millimeters, okay? And the color will be magenta, for instance. Okay, close. And now I have beautiful lines everywhere on my document. So here's not really useful once again because I know where are the limits of my graphic, but with such kind of document, it could be an asset. Okay, and once again, if you want to print it, just create the poster, create all the tiles, create the poster in tiling project, then you can double click to have a nice preview. And finally, you can drag and drop it in your print module, and you will be able to print it. Here you can see the line. Grommets, maybe they are not visible in the preview. Depends, but normally you should see them. Yeah, because they are white. Normally this should be okay. And that's it. Okay, so we did 3 examples regarding Tiling Plus, so banner, vehicle wrapping, and billboards. I hope it makes sense for you. Now, I would like to go through more automation. So remember that previously I did save a template for my bus wrapping project. So now I would like to show you how to use these templates in your workflow in order to automate everything, basically. So let's have a look first to our workflow module. So the workflow module is quite nice, especially when you would like to work simultaneously with tiling and your print driver. So here we create a new workflow, and I will name bus wrapping. I will click OK to validate, and finally I can here drag and drop the application I would like to link together. So in this situation will be first my tiling document, my tiling application, sorry. So you can take it from the application bar and then you can drop it in your workflow. And then the second one will be my printer. Okay. The purpose is to create a tiling document based on one incoming image and then to send it directly to the printer. That will be maybe create an automatic stuff, or we will see. So here the first step will be to set up the Tiling Plus document. As you can see, we have some gears and there are statics. They are not moving, so that means none of these applications are set up yet. So first thing first, let's click on Tiling Plus. Here it will reopen the last settings you have, so we can see our last banner stuff. Okay, but I don't care about. I would like to import the templates I did create before. So I will go in Load. I will select my bus templates, and here we go. I make sure everything is well set up because everything will be automated. So be sure to use the good settings. Then we can click Quit and create all tiles to validate the workflow settings. Now we can see the 2 gears are moving, so that means Tiling Plus has been well set up. Okay. Then we will set up your printer. Okay, so the same thing than before, just double click the application. This will open the driver with a black image, as you can see. The black image is only a template image in order to show you how you were going to print future jobs coming from this workflow. So what I would like to do here is to do a nest, okay? Each time I have the 24 parts from my bus wrapping tiling documents, I would like to nest them in one single document. So nest is okay. I make sure to use the proper format, which is Word 64 inches. That's good. And I would like to print every single tile, at the 1:1 scale, which is 100% scale, as you can see. So everything is fine to me. I will not activate the cutting for this example. No marks, nothing. Okay. I can close this and then I can say print. So it won't print anything, it will just validate my workflow settings. As you can notice here, I have my gears which are rolling together. Then we can close this workflow for now. I know it is rolling, I know it will work normally. So it's time now to try it. So just to get a better view, I'm just going to create a new image tab. I will name it workflow tiling, and I will just drag and drop this file here. Okay, this is my graphic file, by the way. Sorry. Here's the spooler. Okay, we decrease it a little bit. I will keep it there just to show you what happened. I'm going to remove here everything. Okay. Now, if you would like to send this image to the workflow you did create, it's very easy. You can do a right click on the selected item, then you can send it to your workflow. So send to workflow, and here will be the list of workflow you did create. So here the only workflow I created so far. So bus wrapping. So it will directly create, as you can see, the tiling document with the 24 pieces in this example. And as you can see here, from the spooler, everything goes to my auto nest. Okay, my auto nest has been created and is still growing and growing again since I have 24 pieces to nest together. So I think now it should be okay. What happened if I... Yeah, that's okay. We have 24 different documents and we have everything nested in one single job. In like 3 or 4, maybe 5 seconds. So as you can see, it's really fast. And the only thing I will need to do now to produce it is to click my print button. And if you guys have the opportunity to watch our webinar about the basics of Caldera Whip, I speak a lot about Nestomatic, and you will see that it is also possible to set up some conditions regarding the printing of AutoNest. You can also automate where and how you're going to print this AutoNest document. So basically, you can automate everything from A to Z in few clicks. Yeah, that's what I wanted to show you in today's training regarding Tiling Plus, because Tiling Plus is really nice when it comes to automation and making a cool workflow like this.
Šáce z té workflow by se to dalo robit tak,